Hello, everybody. Happy Saturday.
We're glad to have you with us. It is Saturday, June 22nd. And, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us. We are just really glad to have you on board. A couple of quick announcements before we get things going. Thank you again so much for being here and for being part of the family. Right now, we're at 7,264 subscribers. Looking for
Woo!
more. We're on our way to the 100,000. So let's go step by step. The next major goal, 7,300. So thank you very much for sharing all of the videos that come out, all of the shorts that come out. Let's go and do that voodoo that we do so well. And yes, it's interesting that, huh? I don't know if you saw that message, uh, Bob.
Uh, I'm
So,
gonna
Bob
I'm gonna
Johnson.
send.
There we go. Okay. So
I
yeah,
sent
we're,
it.
we're slowly
Thanks,
getting
Craig.
people in. Thank you very much for joining us. And before we get started, a couple of quick announcements, of course. Oh, Mary was the one who was removed. She ought to know better than that. See, ladies and
iPhone was
gentlemen,
Mary.
iPhone was Mary. Um, and if you don't have your name, first and last name, as part of your Zoom ID, you will be removed. And I did put an announcement. So, Mary, I am so sorry that we have removed you. But please, please, please make sure that your Zoom ID has a first and last name. Otherwise, we can't let you in. So,
I'm
anyways,
letting her know.
okay. Anyways, to continue with the announcements, if you'd like to share, and go ahead and put your cursor on the screen where you see me. At the bottom, there's a button that says reactions. Click on the reactions button and then click on raise hand, and we will call on you to answer your question or your share. If you don't see the reactions button, then look for the three dots that say more. That's another button that's down there on the bottom. Click on that, then click on reactions, then click on more, and we will have you come on board. Or if you don't want to, you can go ahead and just post your question in the Zoom chat and we will respond. Thank you again for joining us. And before we get started, we like to share a couple of sayings that have been published by various people. One of which is, let's see, I've got two of them actually today because they're really, really good. The first one came from Robert, who is enjoying himself along with Terry, his wife, in Cabo, part of being the millionaire mentor that he is and associated with the company that he's working with. Robert shared this meme today. When you release expectations, you are free to enjoy things for what they are instead of what you think they should be. Something to think about. I wonder if that's Robert himself.
That'd be funny, huh?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll find out. And then the second one, which Terry had posted, I think it was a couple of days ago, which was incredible. Book the flight, kiss the boy or girl, take the trip, eat the food, learn the dance, make the memories, and live your life. Stop waiting for a better day. Today, today is the day. All
Ain't
right.
that the truth?
Ain't that
You know,
the
it's
truth?
interesting because like at certain times in life, like certain sayings, even if they're something that maybe you've heard in a different way at a different time, like resonate with you just because of the time of your life that it hits you. Um, my younger brother is a perfect example of this because for him, even doing the trip to Japan, he shared with me, he was saying, it was a quote from The Rock, and this is a quote that's not from The Rock, right? It's just
Okay.
he saw a video of him and he said either what was it? Day one or day never. It was something along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure we've all heard it, right? Um, I forget what it is. Let me look it up actually.
Okay.
Day one.
It sounds like it'd be a really good quote to share too.
I feel like people here know it. That's why I'm like waiting just for chat. Um,
So
anyway, don't wait on me.
okay, okay. I don't know.
You can
We're
tell
we're
people
all waiting
what
for
to do. Dispense, huh?
the suspense is killing us. Exactly. All right.
One day or
Well,
day one. Oh my God. I had
oh,
such a bad brain fart with that one. Thank you
oh, there
so
we
much,
got
Arthur.
Arthur and Deb also. Deb Carlson, though
Yeah,
they
it's the
contributed.
one day I'll do it or day one. It's like I'm gonna do it now or I'm never gonna do it, right? And I think for some reason he was always kicking around going to Japan. He saw that quote from The Rock and went, "Okay, today's the day," and he booked his stuff. So pretty
Oh,
cool.
see, now that's an inspiration right there. And it's it's being in the we always say being in the right place at the right time or understanding things at the right time. I mean, yeah, because sometimes you say things over and over and over again and it doesn't even hit you, but then all of a sudden, one day, that phrase just smacks you up the side of the head and goes, and you go, OMG, that's it. That's my call.
Yeah, like even today, I was watching this, and I'll share a little bit about this before we get into like questions or anything like that. But I was watching this video with David Lynch, and he's just one of those guys that just inspires me, right? He's an incredibly creative person, one of my favorite filmmakers too. And I was just watching him talk about creativity, and he said, so many people stop themselves from being creative, and what they don't understand is creativity is like fishing. If you don't throw your hook in the water, you're never going to catch a fish, and you'll never get a chance at catching a big fish. And it's interesting what he said about that because it's very true. The less you keep yourself from being creative, regardless of what you're doing in your life, the harder it's going to be to catch those big ideas that actually can change your life and can do a lot for you because you're just not putting yourself in that space. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
definitely
and
not from The Rock, that quote, but yeah.
right, right, yeah. But I think this ties into exactly what Robert keeps sharing, especially when it comes to imagination. You've got to imagine yourself stepping out. Paul Coelho is what I guess Arthur is saying is
Oh,
the
okay.
one day or day one, but I guess The Rock uses it. But
Yeah.
yeah, imagination is so important in stretching ourselves and, as opposed to being a sheeple, then if we can use our imagination, think outside the box, and we talk about this. I mean, Robert talks about this so much. We've talked about it in the podcasts, Unlimited Wisdom, which takes place every week. Thank you all for joining, watching, and sharing. It's just incredible when you open up your mind. And I think that's a lot of things, too, why I know I've shared with Abraham Hicks what she does or they do is
Right.
meditating. Meditation, shutting yourself off to the rest of the world and just letting yourself open up your mind. Don't dwell on the bad stuff. Don't dwell on the good stuff. Just shut it down for a little bit. And I know that it's been said that the best time is right when you wake up because your mind has not yet started to focus. I've been doing that, and I feel very, very different for the day when, as soon as my alarm goes off or my eyes open, I'm like, okay, now I need to kind of just settle in,
Hmm.
relax, even though I've been doing sleeping for what, 6 hours or so, and do the 6 phase meditation in my head or put on my headphones and do the 6 phase meditation. Boy, it changes you. It gets you going because now you're in a really good mood to start the day. And yes, I agree, Arthur. That's why they say work out in the morning or before your mind figures out what you are doing. Don't pick up the phone unless you need to use that with a 6 phase meditation. Fine. I agree with that.
Then it's allowed.
Yeah. But when you get your day started with a positive mental attitude, oh my God, what a great day you're going to have. And then things that may be a little bit of a challenge or an issue coming your way, you have a better way to diffuse the situation, or at least you can step back and go, okay, you know what? This is not that good. I'm not going to go ballistic on it, but I can take a look at it in a different way. And so, yeah, I'm a firm believer in morning meditation. And even in the afternoon, when just everything, and again, that's an Abraham Hicks thing too, is when everything just piles on you at once and you just can't take it enough, turn everything off, walk away, and take maybe 20 minutes to just refocus. It helps.
I agree. No, I think like that's why like I'm really starting to like I invested in a stand-up desk finally and things like that. I'm really starting to make sure that I prioritize like my physical health a little bit more as I work and my mental health a little bit more by taking those steps away from the computer, maybe going on a walk or maybe doing something that I'm interested in for a little bit that's away from my computer and away from all of my tech stuff because it's so easy to like surround ourselves and like entertain ourselves, right? It's almost I would say it's almost impossible not to. You know what I mean? Like boredom, in my opinion, comes mostly from a place of just not being excited about what you're doing, right? So like
Mm.
you're more just stuck and it's like, oh, why am I so bored doing the same shit all the time? And it's like, well, because your brain's bored. It's not learning. It's not being creative. It's not changing. And it's asking for that, right? Like that's normally where my boredom comes from, at least. Is like I'm just not engaging with the aspects of my mind that love to learn, right? Love to grow. So, thank you for sharing that, Craig.
Well, thank you too, Matt. I mean, having this opportunity, yes, if you have not figured out or if you're not aware, Robert is not with us today. He is in Cabo, and he and Terry, I should say, he and Terry are in Cabo. They are enjoying themselves, and if you have not seen the pictures that he's posted, wow, looks like they are having a wonderful time. We miss you, Robert, and we are looking forward to having you back. Yes, Peter and Linda, well deserved. Everything that they
Yeah,
give to us, they deserve time away. So, absolutely, positively, yes.
100%. No, it's funny. My mom sent me a comment. She said, day one or one day. And I'm like, uh-oh, she is watching me. So that must be that must be him. He's as much as they're enjoying their vacation, they're still gonna watch us on here.
I wonder if that was the Robert.
They're probably relaxing with their drinks next to the pool or the beach or something. Listen to
Aha.
me ramble on about shit. So
Well, we got to ramble on for a little bit, right? Because that's part of the opening to Ask Me Anything.
that's honestly like when you see if some of you guys see like streamers or I don't if you're into any of those things, they'll like fill the dead air in the beginning. There's a reason that that exists. That introduction exists, and it's so people can get on before they get into anything, right? So even if you've seen me do that on some of my streams, it's because I'm like following people that know what they're doing with that live stuff. And it's like, okay, I'm noticing that they're taking this time in the beginning just to chit chat and talk to the people that are there before they get into anything so then people have a chance to get on, you know,
Yeah,
and it makes sense. uh
exactly.
right. It's funny, I have a corgi puppy and for some reason she needs to like cry right now.
Okay,
I don't
well,
know if you can hear it. She just staring at herself in the glass mirror crying.
I need somebody to commiserate with me.
I'm
Me.
petting her now and she feels better. It's just something she does.
Two cute pups right there.
Always.
All right. Well, I guess we should maybe see if there's. I see a hand up already. So definitely. And one last thing, I know we kind of mentioned it at the beginning, and we really wish that make sure that if you invite people to join us here on the AMAs, because people can join us, to make sure that their Zoom name, okay, not their regular name on Zoom, but their Zoom display name has their first and last name. And unfortunately, Mary did not have her name. And I'm so sorry, Mary. I know we're going to apologize right now so that you see that when we play the video back on YouTube, because this will be posted shortly after on
Is
YouTube
it
and you can share afterwards.
isn't Mary in Cancun also.
You know what? You're right.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah. I was
that's
like,
that's how they're
I
wired.
think I.
Oh no!
I was
Oh
like, wait a
wow!
minute. I think that's
Yeah,
why.
yeah, Bob. It would be nice
Why?
to ask her to try again, but once I remove somebody or I can't bring them back. They can't come back because for the Zoom cast, they will not be allowed in. I wish there was another way to do it. I really do.
Permanently
So
banned.
yeah, just for this, just for this. Okay, not for the next time, like for
Right. No.
tomorrow. Yeah. So we tried to get on as well. Robert is saying that. Uh-oh. I think that may have been
They're
your
just gonna have to
dad.
watch. They're gonna have to watch the recording or something.
All
Don't they got
right.
stuff to do?
That's right. There's so many important things to do, like
Or I
ordering
can say,
margaritas or sunning themselves. Or okay,
I was gonna
here's
say, I'm
we might
like,
have Robert here. Somebody, let's see.
what's
Do you?
what supportive parents I have if they're willing to show up on vacation to watch me? I don't know.
Yeah. They can log out of Zoom and click the link. Try a different email. Yeah, if they do a different email address. But I don't know if that Robert is our Robert. If he can show himself, that would be awesome on the camera, and then we
No,
could
I
bring
think
him
it'd probably
straight
be
in.
roaming, unless if they're in their hotel room or something.
Aha. Uh-huh. Yeah, that would be very nice if they could join, but we'll see. Maybe they'll leave a message in the
Let's.
chat and then we'll bring them right on. How's that? Or should we
Yeah,
just
I
go
was
ahead and
gonna.
try it?
No, I was gonna say let's go ahead and just move forward.
Okay.
They decided to go on vacation. This is our call, so they can just relax.
That's true. It
I
is their
probably got them
vacation.
laughing there. Yeah, that no, I unless if they want to just hop in and say hello, I know for a fact that they're the type of people that they just want to say hello or watch while they're relaxing, less be involved. So
Yeah. All right, so I see we've got two hands up. We've got Dee Dee and Kai. And Kai, your hand was up first. So let's go ahead, open up, and please share with us. Hello, Kai.
Hey,
hey
can you hear me
Kai,
all right?
Yeah,
can
we
hear
got
ya.
Can
you.
you hear me all right? Hello, hello.
Hello, hello,
Can you hear
hello.
me?
Yeah,
I
we
can
got
hear
you.
you.
Okay, all right. I was like, I don't have my headphones on, so it should work.
Yeah,
So
we can
You
anyway,
can
definitely
hear
hear
us.
you much better now. I mean, I know you and I had that discussion, Kai, and it just sounds
yeah.
so much better.
Hey, I mean, I'm not gonna complain. It does its job to a certain level, but hey, it's still better than Timu.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Shade thrown.
Yeah, don't buy Timu. Little advertisement there.
Yes.
Anyhow, yeah. You are so profound on that comment about doing a daily routine on making your first day count, especially when you wake up in the morning. Because this morning I actually uh, went with a friend to get his blood work done, and I did not do any of my meditation. I did not do anything. I didn't even have any coffee, and I noticed my brain function, my everything from like my cognitive function to my uh, what do I need to do first thing in the morning. Everything was like just off kilter,
Yeah.
like
That's
off kilter. I couldn't even bring out a normal sentence, and even he would notice like you're normally very punctual with your words. Are you okay? I'm like, no, I did not do any of my meditation. I did not do any of what I need to do first thing in the morning, like I normally do. I did not do send any birthday happy birthday wishes or and whatnot. And it was just like I'm like in a freaking time twilight zone.
yeah.
Does that happen for anybody?
I think it does. I mean, let's go ahead and do a full view here of everybody. Does that happen to you? Raise your yeah. Dee Dee's got her hand up. Lisa,
Yeah,
Peter,
absolutely.
Coach Bob. Yeah. I know that for me, it just if you've been doing it on a regular basis and won't let unmute Robert. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and let Robert.
Oh my
I don't.
gosh.
We don't see him in here. That's weird. Anyways, Um, it won't let him unmute or add video. I don't know what's going on there, Robert. Sorry, but if you can hear us and see us, great. Um, anyways, Kai, it's at least for me. I know that if I do have that morning that morning routine and
Hmm.
something upsets it, it's like my whole day is just shot.
Yeah, I literally had to recalibrate myself after we came back from Indianapolis with the blood work done. My first reaction was like, I need to go to a Starbucks. I need to get this shit done. And by
Yeah,
after I was done, I was like, I feel much better now. My brain,
yeah.
I mean, I didn't even have caffeine.
Sometimes that reset in the middle of the day too helps. But you know what? I mean, just a real quick thing, and Matt, of course, share what you do. But if I know that I have to get up at a certain time to meet somebody, typically, typically I will give myself a little extra time in ahead so that I can do that morning routine because it does to me it makes a difference. And I know Melody Ryba is saying, morning ritual is for me is non-negotiable. So, but you adjust to it.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
No, yeah,
Because
the brain is a machine,
I
you
was
know?
not at my place. I was actually crashing at his place because we were heading out at like first thing 7 morning or something like that. But it was just like, what? What am I doing?
Hmm.
What's happening? Somebody kill me.
There's a trick I found, and it works for me, and just something to think about here. And you want to try it maybe for a few days to see how you feel. Um, I try to sleep in 90-minute segments. And there's a reason why I say it that way. 90 minutes is typically a REM cycle. Okay. And if you sleep in those 90-minute segments, then you'll get a really nice, good feel. I would normally sleep 6 hours. I could go to 7.5. If I had to, like when I was doing events, I could go down to 4.5, maybe 3. See the pattern here?
Hmm.
And I would be okay. Now, sometimes if I had to go down to 3, I would still take a short cat nap in the middle of the day to kind of re energize. But if I had slept, let's say, 4 hours as opposed to 4.5, or 5 hours instead of the 5.5 or 4.5 or 6, then for whatever reason, I'm still a little off because I broke the REM cycle. It's just something, it works for me. Try it, see if it works for you.
I think my REM cycle goes with my pissing pattern. I kid you not. It's like I know it sounds weird and gross, but like every once I go to sleep, about 90 minutes to 2 hours, all of a sudden I wake up, go to pee, and then I go back to sleep again, and then I go to
Hmm.
pee again, and then I go back to sleep again. So
Hey,
maybe that's my natural alarm clock. I don't know.
yeah, I'm like I stopped drinking water actively towards sleep so I don't have to get up.
Mhm. Yeah. So today was an
That's my
interesting
routine.
experience. Hmm.
Well, I was
Aside,
gonna say, like, the interesting thing about like a routine as you guys talk about it, right, is like I just think that the human brain and mind works this way too. Like I try to take more of an analytical approach to it sometimes and just go, it's a machine that processes information. And the more habitual that information is, the more I can get that ingrained, the more the machine's gonna fire better, right? It's like a computer. If you like turn it on, there's all these processes that happen before the welcome screen comes on. And if one of those processes doesn't happen, then the computer won't turn on,
hmm.
right? And I think similarly like this, because when I had my brain scanned at the Amen Clinic, this is the way that they communicated to me about it, right? And it was the first time outside of like an emotional environment, because mostly we talk about the emotional aspects of the brain, but we don't talk about those aspects that are trainable, those aspects that require actual willpower to like not only get rid of bad habits, but instill good ones, right?
Yeah.
And then what happens to the brain when the those habits are taken away, right? This is a good and a bad, right? If you have a good habit of exercise and you don't do that, then obviously the machine's going to go, oh, one of the boot processes didn't work. Like we're not fully booted right now, right?
Hmm. That's how I felt this
Meditation works
morning.
the same. Yeah, meditation works the same. Didn't do my meditation. For me, it's writing, right? If I don't do my writing, I can be pretty like groggy through the day. Because if I don't get all this shit out of my mind, like when I wake up and have my cup of coffee, then it just sits there all day,
Hmm.
right?
And that's actually how
And
I felt. I was like, oh, I woke
Mhm.
up and while we were driving, I literally felt like something's missing. Something's like off.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I can relate with that because it's just the machine not being able to fully run at maximum capacity. And I think a lot of people don't realize, like when you wake up and the first thing that you do, and this is something that I've learned from experience, not judging people, it's from my own personal experience. But if the first thing I do in the morning is like roll over or get up and start scrolling on social media, most of the time I have a shitty day. Like those
Hmm.
two things correlate together. And I've just noticed that personally for myself, my brain needs to be creative in the morning. And if I don't have that outlet and instead I just bog it down with information, or the worst thing, right? Like the news, like I wake up and immediately start reading the news. Yeah, my day normally starts pretty shitty if I do that.
Yeah, I don't
Um,
read them. I don't. I don't.
personally.
I don't listen to the news these days. It's yeah, not. It's
Yeah,
not
give
on.
me the cliff notes without social opinions. I like that, right? Like just give me the cliff notes of what's going on. I like to be aware and understanding of what's happening, but I don't need every person's spin or opinion on what's happening. Not for
Mhm.
me. So, I know some people do like that. I do like that when it comes to other things in my life, like movies, right? Like I like other people's opinions on movies, but I don't really care for their opinions on politics. I got my own. I don't really need other people's.
It's a
So,
waste of breath.
well, I
Sorry.
realized it was a ways for me to talk about it to a certain
Yeah.
extent, right? Other than on a platform where people show up to hear from me, right? I'm not gonna, I can volunteer those things and say, listen, if you want to hear it, you could stay, but I'm not gonna force somebody into it anymore. That's just nonsense, right? I wouldn't want that done to me. So,
And it's actually interesting that you brought that up because last night, both, well, not both, Becky, Molly, and I mean, because last night was a full moon. Molly has had a really rough couple days with her father, and we were literally doing uh, a FaceTime, and that lasted all the way up to 2 hours without like it just like where did time go? And through that process, we were like just dream building how we wanted our life to be and all that because it was just like we were just like we don't want to live like this anymore. We want a better life, and
Mhm.
we were just like all of a sudden just doing a whole vision circle talk or whatever you want to call it.
mhm.
And yeah,
Masterminding, like
mastermind.
you're,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, you're
And
like connecting with other people
mhm,
and sharing like I as you've heard my dad talk about, like it's so easy to make the people in your life happier when you know what they want and they know what they want and you can help them accomplish those things. Like the people that will support you and respect you and what you want to do, odds are like that's the gift of reciprocity definitely helps. If like in a lot of ways I'm always one of those types of people where maybe this is how I was raised, but I'm one of those types of people that's like I'm going to do the good deed first and get that ball rolling and like good deeds happening instead of waiting for someone else to do the good deeds so then I can. You know what I mean? It just is easier that way. So it's like, oh yeah, I'll go out of my way to help this person, you know? And then I don't know if any of you guys have seen that there's a commercial that used to exist that I remind myself of sometimes where it's like one person sees somebody do a good deed and then it's like off to the side and then they end
Oh,
up doing a good
yeah.
deed and then someone
It
else
all.
sees it and it goes back and forth to all
Mhm.
these different situations. I thought that was such a great way of communicating just visually without words how important it is to do good things and let people, inspire people to do those types of things, you know? So,
And do
yeah,
it.
I
Yeah, paying it
absolutely.
forward. Thank you,
right,
Peter.
pay it forward.
And doing it without expecting a reciprocity, too. Just do it because you want to
Man,
do it.
yeah, you want to win with your like spouse or like your relationships in life. don't expect anything in return for doing great deeds. Don't. Because the moment you start doing that, then you're going to start to build resentment. And now you're not doing it for love. You're not doing it for to make that person happy. You're doing that for yourself. And if you're just doing it for yourself, then it's ingenuine. So, yeah, in those situations, definitely, uh, it's just easier that way. So,
That's true.
Yeah.
is
All
that all you
right.
got, Kai, or you got any other
Yeah, yeah.
questions or?
I wanted to share today's moment because I was like, am I the only person that's dealing with this? Or then when Craig brought the subject, I was like, yeah, I I'm not. I'm good to know that I'm not the only one.
I think that's
No.
what's so fun about having a group of people that support you is it's like, hey, am I the only one experiencing this? No. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
great. Good to know. I
because
think that's why,
growing up, I always I grew up in an environment where like I always felt like I was the only one who's feeling these certain things, having these certain
Mhm.
emotions, and being in a quote unquote expected type of society upbringing. Um, I was told you should not be having these types of emotions. So it's
Yeah.
really, I mean, so
Yeah.
I'm kind of pretty much like relearning, resetting, and reprogramming my life for the sake of success.
I think that that's incredible, Kai, because I think a lot of people can relate with that struggle. You know, there's a lot of people that have had upbringing similar where the world was kind of expected of them, and anything short of that was, not enough.
Yes.
And so I know you're not the only person that's working through that process. So many other people in here have shared as well. And it's from all age ranges, you guys. There's no like, oh, I got to it when I was this age, or I got to it when I was that age. So that makes me so much better or something.
Mm-hmm.
No, you're going to get to it when you're ready, right? And everybody's experience is so different that don't ever put yourself on someone else's timeline for working through your stuff that's bothering you,
Yeah.
you know?
And understand they want to care. They care about what it is you're going through, but even though they care and they may say something, again, like what Matt just said, it may not be your time to do that,
Right.
and be accepting of it. I
I
think
think what's great, Melody, is the male crying thing. That's going out.
Oh,
That's
I'm a big
good
crybaby. I have no shame in that.
because,
yeah.
yeah, because it's kind of like, I don't know. I just think a lot of people are more waking up to the full spectrum of human emotions, and I think that that's very healthy for men, especially because for the longest time, men's only default was anger
Yeah.
at most situations, and look how toxic that made men in society, that the only response that they could have to most situations is to be upset and angry. It's like what a childish response, right?
Yeah.
And you think of it as that only if you have that emotional depth and can understand that those are surface level, that anger is just a surface level emotion for some pain or hurt or trauma below. Um, so I'm a huge Kendrick Lamar fan. If you guys have listened to his new album, Mr. Morale, he goes through that whole entire process through that album. It's amazing. One of my favorite albums over the last couple of years. So yeah, going through his own personal childhood trauma through lyrics, and then also inspiring and sharing for other people how we all kind of like stop ourselves, especially the male community, from actually like acknowledging the pain and the stuff that's happened to us. So
And it's also reversed for the female community too, when you think about it, because now women more and more are being accepted in male roles. So it's not as stigmatic in either direction. I'm going to say it that way. In other words, it's being more acceptable that the human element is there. Yes, unfortunately, there are still I'm going to say regions, cultures where it isn't that way. But I mean, how many of us have seen women who have been able to do things in a man's job? Now, granted, men have certain aspects that make them much different and therefore in perfect for those jobs. But the same thing could be said about women's jobs and men doing women's jobs. So yeah, it's a matter of, in I like to say, being human. Can you do it?
Right.
Great. Can you qualify for it? If you can, boom, great.
Yeah. It's, I mean, as someone who would love to have sons or daughters in the future, like I want them to live in a world where they can do whatever they want and accomplish whatever they want. You know what I mean? I don't want there to ever be anything stopping my daughter from, ruling the planet if she wants to. You know what I mean? That's up to her, right? And one of the things that I really keep with me as well is it's like being a man, I'm capable of sharing my male problems, but never am I going to assume what it's like for someone else, whether they're a different race, ethnicity, whether they're a different gender or anything like that, because I'm fully aware that my experience is my own. And it's best to just support people in talking and get out of the way, not talk for people, you know? Like I've found in like my wisdom as I get older, it's like, oh, this is a situation where my opinion doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like it just that certain situations I shouldn't be commenting on because it's got nothing to do with me. So
Yeah. All right,
It's
Kai.
really interesting that you brought that up too, because Becky and I were having that little personal discussion last night as well.
yeah. I mean, me and
And
Hannah
she
have been
was
having
talking
it
about
too.
it from a
You know.
woman's perspective. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm always asking Hannah for her advice because she's so much more. My wife is so emotionally intelligent at a level that I can't even come close to. That I rely on her a lot for like her emotional instincts. In situations whether it's reading people or whether I should do something, she's very good at reading my emotional state. So we've been together for like 10 years now. So it's like it's amazing to have that and have somebody of the opposite sex or even of the opposite mind, right, to bounce things off of. So
The yin and yang.
it's true. The yin and yang.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anything else, Kai?
No, no, no. It was
Cool.
just a subject that just puked out of my mouth.
Well, thanks for sharing with us.
Yeah. And by the way, speaking of, I did post in the chat that you can still vote for Kai for Mr. Health and Fitness with Muscle and Fitness magazine. Um, the end of this voting period is June 27th, so we've got 5 more days. And please get out and vote. The link is in the chat, and I see Dee Dee voted, and I know that every time we've done that, you all have stepped up and shared. You can vote for free. You get 2 votes. You can also vote for with money, but the money that you do vote with goes to childhood cancer research. So it does go to a very good organization, and you can write that off. So please, if you want to give Kai some extra votes, go ahead and do so. Click on that link and scroll down on that page and give it a go. Let's get Kai. I think last I heard you were in 9th place. But
Yes,
now,
that's correct.
now we're in the big, where the Eagles fly. Let's say that. Okay. Uh, Kai was just soaring up to that level. We're now in the Eagle zone. So let's help him get a little bit higher by voting. So thank you very much. And Kai, we're with you.
Thank you so much, Craig. You are a great blessing.
Thank you
All right.
guys. Thanks,
Thank you.
Kai. Thanks, Craig.
All right. Let's go ahead and move on. The next hand that is up is Dee Dee Aston. Dee Dee, let's see. Let me spotlight you. Go ahead and unmute yourself and please share.
Okay, now I'm on. It was
Yeah, we got
Hey,
you.
Dee Dee.
it was saying not able to unmute. So, hi everybody. To go with what Matthew just said, I started turning on this computer. So it's 1:43 in Colorado. I started turning on this computer at 11 o'clock, it's still going through so many things, but because I never turn it on, right? I do everything from my phone.
It's catching up with some of the updates and everything.
Yeah, I'm just restarting it. I had to reset passwords and everything. So,
That's a nightmare. I've been there.
should we? Should I ask about the Vizard demo tomorrow or today? Either's fine for me.
Yeah, I mean, if it's up to Craig, if Craig wants to show off his stuff, or I could show it off, Craig. But no, either way is fine.
I set it up for today, but if it's up to if we want to
see how Craig's ready to go.
I'm ready.
Right? I knew he'd show up ready. So he's probably like, "What do you mean you do it? I'm already ready."
No,
to go.
I don't care if you wanted to do it. That's fine. I just know we talked about it on Thursday.
I would prefer I was gonna say I would prefer for you to do it because I think the way that you do it will resonate the most with everybody here. You'll give the most. The way that you do it and describe it would be better than my technical ass like talking about it all. So
yeah, well, I think I've got a little bit of that technical ass as well. So I hope
you do absolutely.
So I wasn't sure if I was supposed to raise my hand, and I was like, I don't want them to forget. So I'm ready.
No, go ahead, Craig. Do you want to show? Because I have other stuff too that I wanted to share, and we'll get into that if no other hands come up. Dee Dee.
Okay. That sounds good. Well, then let me go ahead and the way I figured I'd do this, and let me see. Let me do that. The way I thought I would do this is that I'm going to take an older video because we are always doing new videos. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to take a video that Robert has shared with us and that we always do share during when Robert does go live or whenever he refers to something. And I'm just going to show you a basic of how Vizard works and how I work with it. I have found a variety of ways of making it work so that we can put together the shorts. But sometimes Vizard is as it is. It's an AI program. I will say that. And it is still learning. That is the thing to understand. It is still learning. Yes, it's very good at what it does. But for example, I was trying to do the inner circle, and it wasn't nailing the points that I bring down, that I put to it, that are effective for us. Now, first things first, I want to show you this. These are notes right here that I take during Inner Circle, Unlimited Wisdom, Imaginators. All of these are notes of timing that I keep track of. And I learned this as we were starting to do this more and more. Basically, it's the title. And you should see what I've got. This is ever since I started keeping track. All of these pieces of paper.
My God, we got a novel coming together.
Pretty much, yeah. But these are all Hollisisms or whoever is talking, because we want to try to include everybody. But anyways, so what I do is during these broadcasts, I try to keep track of the time, because we start at the top of the hour. Now, for Unlimited Wisdom, unless I'm watching the replay, that's a little difficult because we just start talking. Matt turns the on-air button on and we roll. So if I can't get the exact time based on the time that we are going, a lot of times I will write the words down, like just a few of the words. For example, on Unlimited Wisdom, I wrote down the words, which, by the way, came up at 20 minutes into the podcast. Nothing inspires me, ... And the reason why is because in both Vizard and in Premiere, I can find, using the find buttons, the words "nothing inspires me," and then I can find the spot where it is that I want to start the edit from, and then time up to a minute. Now, that's if I'm that also helps me in Vizard. But Vizard, what is great about Vizard is it can break down a 25-minute video into 1-minute segments or minute and a half. You advise it when you set things up. Okay, I want less than 30-second segments. I want 30 to 60-second segments. I want any segment, and it'll break it down. So what we're going to do, let me go ahead and start sharing my screen. Let me do this.
Thank you so much for doing this for everybody, Craig. Appreciate you so much. I know everyone's excited to see this, so thank you for sharing that even before.
It's a pleasure. All right, so here we go. I'm going to share my full screen. So right now, what I've got is the point guide and direct video that Robert has and that we have been sharing all this time. One of the things that you look for to get started is if you can download, and I'm only going to use Robert's because that's what we work with. But for you, think about this: if you have a pre-recorded video, you can either download it to your computer and then upload it to Vizard, or take the URL. Okay, so I'm going to take the URL, and there's I want to go right before the and sign because that's what we need to do. I'm not going to go into a lot of explanations about it, but typically you can take the full URL, copy it, and then you go over to Vizard. Now, our Vizard projects are open. So I can do one of two things. I want to create the project. So the master project, I can upload from the link. I can upload from a local file. I can even record a video or import it from Zoom. Haven't tried the import from Zoom yet. Might have to try that very soon. But I find it right now the best way is either these first two. Upload a local file or from the link. So since we got the link, I'm going to go ahead and click on upload to the link. Then I'm going to paste in this spot the link. It thinks about it. Now we've got, okay, that's the video, right, English. Okay, now let's get AI clips. It's going to take a few minutes to go through and figure out those links. Actually, it's going to upload it to their system. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing for a moment here. The nice thing is now it's in AI, in Vizard's hands. It's going to upload. It's going to create the project. Then what it's going to do is find the best parts. And that's where it's going to break it down to based on whatever you decide is less than 30-second clips, 30 to 60, 60 and more, or however it is. I forget what it is. Right now I've been using it so much on this account that it knows what I want. You can also set up Vizard. As soon as it's finished uploading and creating the project, I'll go back to it. Otherwise, it's just boring to watch it say uploading. You can safely leave the page. We will email. Okay. So I'll wait. Anyways, so you can set it up whether you would want them in landscape format, vertical format, or 16:9 format, or what we do is we set it up in the vertical 9:16 format. Yes, I'm getting technical. 9:16 is considered the best way for Instagram, for YouTube Shorts, for Facebook Reels. So that's why we take the regular full-size video and put it into that squished vertical format. So the system already, now we're getting to finding the best parts. It'll be ready in just a quick second here. Typically takes 16 minutes, but it probably will be a little less. But so you can set it up. You can set it up in a square format, which apparently is great for Instagram. But what we want to do is we want to try to get the most bang for our buck. And especially with cell phones being vertical, as opposed, when you look at your cell phone, you look at it in the vertical format, not in the horizontal or landscape format. So that's how we create them. And so that when you look at your phone, it looks full on your screen. And you want to try to make sure that your image, whatever you use, is full on the screen. Especially when you have phones that are small in size and you're having to squint because we've used a horizontal format in a vertical setting. And you have to, if you want to share something, or people want to see who you are by watching your eyes, your face, when it gets too small, it's not fun to look at. The only time that's good is if you're working with 2 or 3 people, which sometimes we do. And that's the beauty of Vizard, is it will set it up so that if you have, like, you're interviewing somebody else, or when we solo on someone else, it will set itself up in that 9:16 format with one person on top of the other. Or in the case of 3 people, it will line it up so that there's maybe the main speaker on top and then the 2 other speakers on the bottom. So Vizard does a very good job at putting things like that together. Let's see where we're at. Continue. Upload fail. Oh shoot.
I was gonna say if you do jumping jacks while you wait, you actually can get a nice burn going. I've
There you
noticed.
go. Yeah. Um, okay, now it's back to doing what it was supposed to do. I think I hit the wrong button. So let's see. So we're still finding the best parts. And then what we'll do is we will get back to it in just a moment, because it's got to make sure that it finds those specific segments that we want to select from. So that is, yeah, Vizard is pretty much, that's a very good way to put it, Lisa Marie, because I know you've used Vizard before. It's pretty much automatic. You do have to get used to some of the little idiosyncrasies. It's still like Matt says, when it comes to the AI programs, it's still not perfect. And you have to understand that, especially if what you see or what you want is not what they're giving you. And that's why I was telling you that I keep track of where in the videos that we've created certain phrases are, certain segments are. And what I do is I will jot those down, and then even on this page, I don't know if you saw them or not, but there's little asterisks to the side there, because what I want is those are the ones that are like the, oh my God, those are the perfect ones to share. And they could be short, they could be long. Now, sometimes because I don't get what I want, and this is me, I will use Adobe Premiere Pro, because I can import that. It has texting. It can take the text from the video as well, and then I can find the spot, create it, which is what I did the last couple of video shorts that came together. So there is that option, but for the most part, Vizard is a really good way to go. This is taking a little longer than I expected, so I don't know. At this point, does anybody have any questions about Vizard? Because until it comes up, I really don't have much else to say. It's more of showing. Okay, go ahead, Lisa Marie. Unmute yourself, and let's chat a little bit.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so I'm wondering, with the Vizard, it is pretty much all set up. It'll give you your captions, it'll highlight them. You can pick out the text and everything, the style. And then once you have that all set up and on the default, then you should get that every time, correct?
You should, yes.
Yes.
And it's going to
Okay.
take a little bit of a practice, because what it does is it sets up besides the video itself, it will set up 2 different visual sections for text. And
Right.
that's why I want to
Right.
wait and
Yeah.
show.
Okay.
Yeah, because whether you want one thing or whether you want the text to be read and showing at the same time, like a caption.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the nice thing is, if you don't want that, you can turn it off.
Right, right. There are a lot of nice things about Vizard, just setting them up. You know what confuses me the most is now I believe Matthew, when he first started talking to us about all this technology and whatever, and I believe he was showing Vizard, but Matthew, you had mentioned at one time, because this is a problem I'm running into, is constantly running out of minutes. And yeah, I could pay for the pro version, but I don't. You know what I mean? So you had mentioned there was a way to avoid that. And I didn't know if it was in CapCut or if it was Canva where you could cut that video down before you actually put it in there to export it. And that saves a huge amount of minutes. Am I right?
Yeah,
Or
yeah, it can.
okay.
I would say, if you're, like the base plan, for Vizard is 29.99, I think. I would say if you want to take it more seriously, I definitely would just pay for that. I'll give you reasons why. Um, we go through a lot of video content, and so we pay for the bigger one. But I also have another account that I use for my personal use that's $30 for a bunch of different channels, and I think it's worth it just at the $30 level. Like,
Okay.
I'm gonna share a little bit after Craig shares about how you guys can do a couple of really fun things with it, right? With
Mhm.
content.
Okay.
But I think it's worth it for the paid version, only
Mhm.
for you have to ask yourself, am I is $30 a month worth you editing down every single video that you
Right.
Right.
make to put it in
Right.
there? And then you're also gonna have the watermark of Vizard, which will no longer exist if you have the paid version.
I know
So
it
it won't
always
even say
comes across.
Vizard.ai.
Yeah, it comes across. It's right across my forehead every time.
Right.
Right, right, right. So I would just say, of course, too, what you could do is say a lot of people see like subscriptions as like some long-term play. It's not. Truth is, if you spend $30 for 1 month and you don't think you got $30 out of it, then cancel it next month and go back to free. But at least you tried the
Right.
$30 a month version, right? Saw if
Right.
you got
Right.
something out of it. So you're not locked in to keep paying $30 a month. So,
Right. And I'm just trying to figure out which of the apps are most beneficial for me, which ones are the easiest for me to adapt
mhm.
to, because there's some out there that are just like, you know
Yeah,
what I
like
mean?
Craig brought up Adobe Premiere. I use Adobe Premiere
Mm-hmm.
all the time as well. I'm neither one of us want to get into that bag of stuff because Adobe Premiere is a software people use to edit films in. So
Right.
it's not something that someone's going to easily pick up and figure out. But of course, we're gonna be honest with you guys and be like, yes, this was part of our process. But I
Mm-hmm.
think one of the best things you can do, Lisa Marie, is figure out, and I've shared this before, on the inner circle, but figure out the things that are stopping you from going through the process and just eliminate them. Or wait for AI to like eliminate them. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Right.
it's like, okay,
Yeah.
Vizard already just eliminated probably 5 people's jobs. Because you'd have to have an editor, you'd have to have someone go through and timestamp it, you'd have to have someone transcribe it. You can even change it into different languages if you want to. So,
And I'm catching all those little things a little bit at a time.
mhm.
I'm getting but it's just taking a
It
long
takes
time.
time. Yeah.
Well,
But
whose timeline
yeah,
are you on? You know?
uh, I don't know. I think that older lady syndrome thing is going on.
Well, I would say that a lot of people deal with that. It's got
Yeah,
nothing to
for
do with
sure.
age or anything. I think it always comes down to that same thing like we talked about on the podcast, trusting yourself and believing in yourself, right? That
Right,
the
right, right.
moment, Lisa Marie, you believe that the process you're going through and how the speed at which you're going through it is your own and you accept that is the moment that you'll stop beating yourself up so much for not
Yeah,
doing it fast as others or not doing it in a certain way others do it,
yeah.
you know?
Right, exactly. I will
All
learn in my
right.
own time for sure. So,
Things are
I
starting
know
to
you
come up.
are. You are though. I've seen
hmm
it. So thank you
yeah.
so much, Lisa Marie.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate you
Yeah.
guys so much.
Thank you. All right.
Hmm
So we're going to go ahead and continue because now everything has rendered itself up.
Thank you,
Let me
Craig.
absolutely. Thank you. So there we go. So once everything has been taken care of, you'll see a screen like this. And there's some things to point out on here that are really good, especially when you're talking about wanting to share the best of your long form videos. You'll notice we have a viral score that's over here on the right, 9.8 out of 10, or it's here on the left where you see me putting the cursor here. the idea is that they figure that according to their AI, out of 10 points, this has a 9.8 of getting views because of the content, because of everything about that particular clip. Now you can see that the clips chosen, 37 seconds, 44 seconds, 54 seconds, 49. There's a minute 18. It's been known to do that when you see, even though you've set it for 30 to 60 seconds, but it's been, you adjust appropriately. The other thing that I like about this front screen is you have the ability to not only take from the master clip, because you can edit from the master clip and locate in that master clip the exact spot you want, but you've now got your short clips here and you've got the transcript to the right below. So if I was to play this right now, in fact, I don't think I even set it up so that you can hear it. Let me do, yeah, I didn't. Okay. Oh, wrong share. All right. So, if I wanted to make sure of how Robert said the script, I can read this transcript over here, but does it read correctly is important. Does it sound like something that Robert would say, especially when we get to the end where he says that I needed to go through the numbers? Okay. So my feeling is, okay, a 9.8 on the very first clip, 37 seconds. That's not bad. That's something to look at. So I can play it right here.
When I learned, I had to.
And there's usually a bit of a delay. Matt, can you hear that?
I could do it. But then I
can hear it great, actually.
Okay, good.
There's not even a delay, I would say.
That's
okay. Sometimes you will get the delay.
It is when you understand that you're just looking for the right people at the right time.
Okay, now you saw that little shift. That's something that is new in Vizard.
And it's not about you or what you said. It has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with them. So then I knew that I needed to get good at inviting, and then I just needed to sort, that I needed to go through the numbers. Okay,
so that's your first clip. If that's what you like, then you would go and edit. And you can either export it as it is, but I like to edit it because there's a certain format that we like to use for the channel. I'm going to shrink this up a little bit. So when you go into edit, this is what you'll see, is you'll see a lot of crossed out text, and then you'll see text where it's not crossed out, and that's what Robert just shared with us. You'll also see lines in there, which are different segments for what you may have seen what the video did. It could be that the video has removed this top text here on the top. It could be that the scene changed. When Robert moved a little bit over to the left side that you saw, that was because there is something that Vizard saw in the video when it was rendering it that made it move to the left, and that's where this change is. That's where these lines are. But we like it a nice shot in the middle, unless maybe Robert's doing something special with, let's say, showing the book and it's off to the side. The point is we want people to watch Robert. Okay, focus on the face. So the first line here is typically where this text is, which you can maneuver up and down, or you can change it if you go to the transcript button. Now, again, I'm just going to be very quick. You need to go through this. There are tutorials on Vizard. But just to give you an idea of what we do. And then when I click down below this first line, you see that top text disappears. You don't need it up there for very long unless you want it there. That's preference for you. Now, if there's a change, like say, for example, what we saw for a moment there, you saw the text move, or the image move a little bit to the left. I don't want that. Now, there's two things I can do, but the simplest way, because it's only Robert, I just go ahead and get rid of that line. See, now there's a reason why it was moved to the left. See where the book is? Okay, maybe I want to highlight that book. So I'm going to go ahead and put that line back in by hitting the Enter key right before the just. So now what that means to me is I am going to want to focus on that book when it comes up. And otherwise it goes back to Robert being in the center. you can stretch wide the video and make sure that your cursor or that the highlight is in that section. If you stretch it wide, then you can adjust it either wide or up or down. So I want the book to come up. Okay, looks like I got to go a little. There we go. I want that book right in there when Robert talks about it, because he's pointing that out as he is talking about it. So now when I go to the above section, he's talking, and there's the book, and he goes back to the talking. Sometimes you may need to adjust. I go through the video to make sure he's most of the time in the center. Now, another thing to think about is you can get these 1.3s in the brackets are spaces. So you can get rid of it if you need to create, to shrink the amount of time there, or leave it in there, because I like to leave it in there to a point, because I like Robert to sound as natural as possible. Okay. So sometimes you can make it, again, I'm not going to go into detail, but you can edit them a little bit more so that it sounds more natural. So now we've got everything here. All the elements are in place. Do I want to change some of the text? I like this format? Yeah, it's okay. I like the text. You can change this by making sure that this block or cursor is up in the upper section. Click on text, and you can either select what type of text you want, whether you want to add a headline, a body, and the style. Now, in this particular case, I'm going to just I'm going to click on this, and now I can edit the text. Get excited about your future potential. Okay, good. And it gives me a variety of things that I can do and fonts that I can use only for that text. Or if I click on this trash can, that text is gone. Do I want what I want to do apply to all scenes? And those are those lines going across. No, I only want what I want to apply to only the scene that I'm in. How do I know that? Because that's where the cursor is. If I click it down here, and it's only applying to the scene between the two lines. All right, so I'm going back up to the top. I'm clicking on the edit there. I want to change this to a font that I like to use because it's very good. It's called the bold font. And I don't need, let's see, I think this is the background. No, that's the text. Background. I want to shut off the background. And I want to change the color of the text. You can see how easy this is just by absolutely playing with it. Then I want to increase the size of the text in that square. There.
I was going to say, Craig, not to interrupt you, but in comparison to doing these same things in Premiere, how much easier is it?
Oh, it's much easier because you got to go through a lot of bells and whistles and hoops and hollers to get to doing
everything
what
you've
this
done.
is.
You would have had to download plugins even to get started. So you'd have to go find the plugins, find the fonts.
Exactly. So that's the beauty of it. It's all here. So, all right, there's my top. Now, in this particular case, I have the bottom, which is the caption. This runs through the entire video.
When I learned, I had to get excited about my future.
Okay, so you see that? So here's what you do is you would go to the subtitles, or as I did, click on the text, and I can raise it or lower it. The nice thing is there's a line here so you can make sure that it's centered. You want to try to get it to below the person's face if you can. There's a lot of other things you can do, but for right now, we're keeping it simple. If we want to chat more about doing other things, we can get together directly. But anyway, so now I want to change that font to be a little bit more solid, a little brighter. So I like to use this one right here, and that changes it. Then I want to make it all caps. I want to increase the font size to 20. Okay, it's yellow. I like that because I want that to differentiate from the top text. I like to use an italic because people kind of pay attention to italics a little more. It's bold, it's centered, and I want to make sure that it always stays in one line. If you want to make it two lines, you can. you see all of the different abilities you can create with the style. And so then play it.
I could do it. But then I had to go through the hard thing of.
Now, that particular decision here on the font combination does add certain little graphics to make it like dance a little bit more. But you can go through all these different graphics and decide which ones you want to use depending on what you like. A lot of them that I've seen have used this one right here where it just comes right up in upper and lower case in a special box, the 5 box as they call it. Or I'm sorry, this particular version, not 5 box. I see what it's doing. But anyway, so you select the type that you like. I've seen Matt use this particular one where it goes in different ways, different kinds of fonts. But I like this one. Okay,
yeah, just A/B test like what works for you and works for your channel. It's going to be different for everybody. Yeah, that's what I would say with the fonts is just have fun with it, like Craig's showing. So
exactly. So, and that would apply to all scenes because you want the captions through all scenes. Once you're ready to where you want, where you've done what you want, then I like to, just to check everything, is play it one more time. If it looks good, and I'm just going to say that it looked pretty good the way we saw it, I'm going to export it. Now, exporting means it takes all of those elements that we worked on. Now, this one is in 480p, but that's because of apparently the way that Vizard grabbed that video. If you upload it from your computer, you can get a higher definition. I've seen up to 1080p. If you can, try to use the 720 or the 1080p visual. But this is what it apparently saw. So yes, that's what we want. Now it's preparing to export. It'll take you to this screen. Estimated processing time 2 to 5 minutes. I wait until this is done. And it will come up just like that. So now what it allows you to do is several different things. I like to have it download to my computer. Okay? Because then I have it here and I can put it into the other social media that I like to use. And I find it easier that way. If you have one of these social medias, then based on the way you set things up and you set the whole thing up, you can share it to those straight from Vizard. So personally, I'm going to download it to my computer. But the nice thing is, now that we've done all of that prep work in advance, when we hit the share button, now you're ready to share on social media. But each social media is slightly different. If you're going to go direct to a social media, your social media channel. Here, it will provide a hook for the viewers with a title and tell the viewers a little bit about the video. And it will give you tags to use. Now, this is set up for YouTube. There's also, if you have a TikTok channel, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, it will also do the same for those channels. But right now, we're only going to use the YouTube. So I want to generate a post based on everything that's going on. It will go ahead and give you that post. Now that's its first choice, unlocking your future, the journey of finding the right people. It's using its AI, what it feels is the best for that particular video. Plus it gives you a description. Now I'm not a fan of the description only because it talks third person. When I share, I want to share Robert this and his that, because here it says in the description, the video discusses the importance of getting excited about one's future. Well, one's future, I agree, but the video is not talking about it or discussing it. Robert is, or you are. That to me is important. So I will replace that with Robert discusses the importance of getting. And even though it says here, it emphasizes. Well, no. Robert is not an it. Robert is Robert. I would either replace that with Robert or he, because I like to keep it as personal as possible when somebody reads it, unless it is appropriate to use like one's future, or if you want to use your future. Either way, that's personal preference. But something to look at here, other AI suggestions. Click on that, and now I will get other title suggestions that I feel comfortable with, that I am familiar with. Okay, so if I don't like Unlocking Your Future, The Journey of Finding the Right People, I can say, ooh, Mastering the Art of Inviting, Finding the Right People at the Right Time, or Overcoming Fear, Embracing Rejection and Networking, Unlocking Success, The Power of Effective Communication. Either way, getting excited about your future potential. Let's see. I like Unlocking Your Future, The Journey of Finding the Right People. So I'm going to stay with that. I can do the same thing here in the description. And you'll see that there are 3 other descriptions if you want to use those. Or you can take a piece of this description and use it. So things like that. Scrolling down, it'll give you for YouTube the tags. And then whether you want it public, private, or unlisted. And if you're ready to go, when you say publish, it will share all of that information to the social media platform as it's listed there in that exact way. So you practically don't have to do anything. Or, like what I like to do, is I will put the words in the way that I feel it needs to be said, and I will copy and paste exactly everything there. So that's simple. If it's not what you like, I'm going to show you one other thing, and then I will call it a day here because there's so much involved with this. I'm going to go to my Chat GPT, and there's a reason why. If for whatever reason you didn't like the headline that was shared with what Chat GPT or with what Vizard gave you, then what I like to go is to Chat GPT. Create 3 headlines for a YouTube short based on the following script. I copy and paste the exact script of that minute video or less than, put it in here, and here's what it gave me. Embrace your uniqueness. Not everyone needs constant inspiration. I used actually earlier today on the video that was posted a little while ago, you don't need to be obsessively inspired, and here's why. So there are other avenues that you can find to get what you want. You don't have to exactly take them. Or, even more, bottom line, if you don't like what you see and you have a better way of putting it, use it. Your own intuition still is the best thing to do. So then I bring it into YouTube and then I schedule the video. So that, in a nutshell, is exactly what I go through to prepare a 1-minute short for all of the platforms that we use to share the videos. And then, we hope that you watch and you share those videos. So, Dee Dee, do you have a question?
I was going to say my bar was stopping me from unmuting for some reason, but
I'm
you
sorry.
so much, Craig. Yeah, I was going to say, does anybody have questions? I was going to say the same thing you just said. So
yeah, Dee Dee. Okay, let me go ahead and do that. Yeah, go right ahead, Dee Dee.
Okay, thank you, Craig. That's super awesome. I think once I do it, it's pretty self-explanatory, but just back to the beginning. So with that, when you say copy the URL, I couldn't understand if that video, I think it's already downloaded. So does that work the same if your video is on Facebook? You're just picking up the URL for the video?
It doesn't work on Facebook. So if you do it on Facebook, then you need to take your video, download it to your computer or what device you use, make sure that you have the full item, and then upload it using that create from upload. Let me go back to that. So to create project, see there's the upload local
Lisa
file.
Marie said that they let her download them now straight from Facebook, so she doesn't even need anything else. So I wouldn't know personally, but if that's true, then that would be great.
Yeah, because it says here, that's awesome if they do that, because it says here, paste YouTube, Google Drive, Vimeo, or StreamYard to continue. So that I did not know, Lisa Marie. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks. You did a great job. Thank you.
Yeah. So, okay. And that you guys didn't see. So anyways, but you got the idea. I just realized I didn't share the screen when we were talking about that last segment.
Oh, no, the thing is, Craig, is like, I feel like the reason that I really wanted you to do it is not only are you so detailed in sharing, which I just love. I know everybody here benefited so much from your tutorial on how to do that, but also it's recorded, everybody. So now if you want to rewatch this, the upload will be up after this, and watch it to your heart's content. Go through the process with Craig. I think it's $30 a month, like I said, for the pro account or for the more expensive account. But you could go get started for free. And if you go to roberthollis.com/AI, you'll see the link for Vizard and all the other stuff that we have in there as well. If you do anything through there, like both, you'll be benefiting us because some of those are affiliate links, and I think for some of those too, you get bonuses by signing up as affiliate through our link. So like extra minutes or hours or something like that. So
Yeah.
so thank you so much, Craig, for showing that all off.
Absolutely. And thank you guys for watching. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, did everybody benefit from that? Wasn't that awesome? I mean,
Okay.
I want to give you a round of applause, Craig. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. It's, if it helps you in any way, that's the most important. Thank you, Peter. Yeah. Peter, can I give you a big hand? Good old scouting jokes. Yeah. But that's the nice thing about using these AI programs. And, for those of you that use ChatGPT or whatever, Matt has shared with us so much. And he also keeps saying it's in its learning phase right now,
It's
still.
the worst it's ever gonna be.
Yeah. So make sure that you understand that. And if it's not what you want, then make whatever changes are necessary or adjustments are necessary to get what you need. If it doesn't look like it's the right answer, you always got Google
Right.
or whatever to look up, Wikipedia. I mean, so many different ways to find out whether it's true or not. And that's the most important thing.
No, I agree. That's something you should do, especially if you're researching anything that's important. You know what I mean? Like
There's enough
definitely
fake news
AI
out
can still
there.
hallucinate. So it's definitely always good to like somewhat fact check some of the stuff before you go share it with anyone else, right? I mean, you should be doing that for any information people give you, right?
Exactly.
Don't just trust everybody. I have a little bit of something that I'm going to show that's going to connect a little bit to the Vizard stuff, and then we'll end it for the day because I can see we've already been on here for an hour and a half. So thank you guys so much for being on here.
All
I'm
right,
going
Matt.
to flip over
There we go.
here like so. I'm going to show you guys something that you could do with Vizard right now. Okay. And Lisa Marie, this is something that you probably benefit from quite a bunch, and I'm going to show you. First things first, I don't mind sharing a little bit of what I'm up to. This is the new platform everyone's talking about and using. It's called Luma Labs.ai. And I can tell you right now that the video world is, if you guys have seen, look at him walk away, look at all this stuff happening now. I mean, some of these shots are insane. Like what this is capable of doing in comparison to just a couple of weeks, a couple of months ago. So much clearer, so much better. The physics are so much better. So yeah, I'll be talking more about this as I get to use it more, but right now I'm more in the creation phase, as you guys can see. So I'll share more about that later. But what I really wanted to share with you guys is this idea that I had based off of a couple of things that I was consuming about inspiration and why it's so important. So I decided to grab just a simple Google Doc and write down, I didn't put them in tier lists before, right? This is just how much they influence me, right? And I can zoom in a little bit so you guys can see. These are just some of the creative people that influence me, right? And I'm still adding to this. But one powerful thing that you can utilize this for is, say, Stanley Kubrick, he's one of my favorite filmmakers. I could go to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT, who inspired Stanley Kubrick, right? And GPT is going to go through and give me the people that inspired him, and then I can ask more questions about those things. So I'm getting filmmakers, I'm getting artists, I'm getting certain people who've written literature, all different kinds of things. So then what I did is I took those and put them in a look more into list. Now, some of these, of course, I'd say look more into, because some of these, like Fellini and stuff, I do know. But at the same time, John Ford, me and Craig were just talking about him the other day. But this gives me the opportunity to, the background I'm using is just something that I created. But this gives me the opportunity to like dive into and learn who the people that I'm inspired by learned from and where they've gotten certain things. So I think that this is a great way to figure out not only like diving into information, because I'm such a fan of that, right? It's like, okay, if I read something like The Power of Now, it's like, well, what books inspired him to write that? And it's like, well, you should read Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. I read that, and then I'm like, this is even better than The Power of Now, right? And so that kind of got me more on this path of asking ChatGPT not just for the people that inspire me and like what their style is, where they learned. You can ask like so many questions about these people, but I feel like being able to dive down specifically into the people that inspired them gives me even more information. And I know not everyone here is going to do this process, like go through all the information, but I'm one of those people that's like, okay, if I learn Hitchcock was inspired by this certain book, I want to read it for Vertigo or whatever it may be, just because that's how I am, right? So how else can you use this? It doesn't have to just be people, obviously. You could put certain events that happen that have inspired you, things that go along those routes, or you could use YouTube channels, right? Like maybe you have a YouTube channel that inspires you, or current creators that inspire you that you want to be more like. Have a conversation with GPT about it. Say, listen, I consume a lot of Jay Shetty's content. What are the 5 things? I could even ask it, but what are the 5 things that Jay Shetty does on YouTube that you think makes him a success? And it's going to go through and give you the 5 things that it thinks. You can continue to ask it more and more and more about those things. I'm a firm believer that if you are in a situation of I don't know what to do or what to make, that you're just not asking yourself enough and you're just not doing enough research on what it is you want to do. And so I'm going to show you. If you pick a specific thing, like say pets. Now, I brought this guy's channel up for a reason. He has 730,000 subscribers. So dominates all of us, basically, right? Here's a picture of him holding his YouTube plaque, right? Don't forget to subscribe. This dude did not put a bunch of text, did not put a bunch of stuff, bunch of information. Think about, oh, do I need to do this? Do I need to do that to grow on YouTube, right? He just found some channels that he was excited about, or an idea, something that inspired him, and he started getting to work with a program like Vizard. And he started posting shorts. So he posts shorts, and some of these are as short as this puppy. Now, do I think he owns this puppy? No, I don't. I would guarantee you that that's not his puppy. But the 147 million views and the subscribers and the 2.5 million likes and those types of things helped him accomplish 730,000 subscribers. I guarantee you guys, this guy makes, and I could figure it out with analytics, this guy makes money off this YouTube channel, and none of these, all he's doing is sharing puppies and dogs because he loves puppies and dogs. Now let's take it a step further, right? How would I get clips? Okay, so here's a channel called The Pet Collective. 5.1 million views on this video, 7.81 million subscribers. It is a compilation, 30 minutes of the world's cutest puppies. Now, all I would do is copy this video link, put it in Vizard, and let Vizard pick out the clips, take the clips that I want, upload them onto my YouTube channel. That's all they're doing. None of this content that you see they made, right? What they're doing is being a spot for people to consume this content, a TV channel in a sense, and they're monetizing it. Take it a step further, take it into community. This is called The Farm, Dog TV. Now, their main channel, The Farm, is a farm home for 20 happy adopted rescue dogs. Now, they have some pretty good views on some of these videos, right? But they're fully aware that to make content takes time, right? And maybe that's not your goal in life. Maybe your goal in life isn't to make content about these dogs, but to take care of them, right? And you don't have the time to hire someone to do that. So what could you do instead? You could make compilations of dogs. And that's what they did here, right? But the Farm Dog TV, you can see here, we started this channel as a way for people to support the farm by popping these long videos on the TV in the background for your pet while you're not home. You're generously supporting our animals here at the farm. So they're bringing their community into it and going, if you guys consume content on this channel, we're actually monetizing it. And some of these have 12,000 views in a day, 10,000 views in a day, 34,000 views in a day. These dogs bouncing around on the couch very well could be from their farm. I didn't vent them to know that for a fact, but I know for a fact that other channels do this and make these compilations so you, just like this guy did, to support and create a whole business out of. So of course, Lisa Marie, you could take a 30-minute video of animals, edit some out for Buddy's Place, upload them, and as the views start pouring in and people love it and subscribe, of course, you could then say, make sure you subscribe so you're supporting Buddy's Place. All the monetization for this channel and views go to my animal sanctuary. And people will leave people will leave a 6-hour video on their TV for 30. So you can get all the, if you guys want to know how much a 6-hour monetized video makes, it's thousands. So these people are making an income off of these long monetized videos, and their following is supporting them. But like I said, you don't even need that. You just need an interest, an inspiration, right? Well, how do I get one of those? What inspires you? I love storytelling. So all of these people here that you see are storytellers, right? I don't know. I don't know the people that might inspire me or have done things. Ask ChatGPT based off of what inspires you or what you're excited about, or what ideas might help. What YouTube channels or things or content do you consume, right? Do you like, do you enjoy, that you would be inspired to create? That's what you use these tools for. These are such great tools in refining ideas and refining inspiration. And then I just showed you guys how easily and quickly you can monetize anything. This could work for sports. Now get this. The interesting thing about shorts in comparison to long form content is it's a totally different ad platform. You're not going to make as much, but the requirements are way less. So can you use copyrighted music over it? Yes, you can. And keep it monetized. Can you use clips from the NFL or something like that? I don't know, but you could try and see, right? I know a lot of people do with movies because over the last, or when we were talking about it in the inner circle, right? I brought up that outstanding screenplays channel that I watched grow to 1.2 million subscribers, and none of this content they made, none of it. They just 10 tips from Paul Schrader. They compiled the 10 clips. Okay, so now that I've made 10 clips, what would be my next set of things to do? Promote that video. What's an easy way to promote it? Make shorts about it, right? So now you just get, Denzel Washington was a garbage man at one point. He's got his URL right there on top of the captions. Craig just showed you how easy that is to do, right? Inside of Vizard, you don't need to know. As far as crediting the original creator, you can do that in your comments in the description. If it's a compilation of clips, sometimes they put them in the sometimes they'll do it and put that in here, but most of the time you'll see a lot of people don't. Now, this is where we're going to get into a world of copyright infringement and like what that actually means, right? Because I'm a firm believer that if I create an idea and it inspires you to create, that I've done my job. Of course, I don't want you to steal my work and make money off of it. But if you are sharing it with other people, I don't have a problem with that at all. So it sounds like a crazy idea, right? To think that it would be a good idea to let other people make great Star Wars movies, but Disney doesn't want that to happen. They want only the bad ones to come out through them. So, so I'm throwing shade, but I think that that's the truth, though. As far as telling people, do you think this is just the start for YouTube? I mean, YouTube is a channel. Like our YouTube is the new version of television, right? So when you see these compilation funny apes around the world, this is just for people that want to watch funny clips of apes. Like my mom, she loves spider monkeys. And this channel, all they're doing is taking the time to create that. But I showed these as an example, right? Because a lot of people here maybe have an inspiration to inspire people, but they don't want to be on camera or they don't want to do any of this stuff. I'm showing you that these people compile stuff based off of what they're excited about and get those plaques that everybody wants. They're not putting their face on it. They're not putting their name on it. I mean, this dude's channel is his name, you guys, and he's got 730,000 subscribers, 500 videos, shorts that have 140 million views, right? Like this is called Dog Puppy Cute Barking Viral Short and has 11 million views. It's actually just a noise of a puppy barking. But that just goes to show, though, that if you start somewhere, I bet you some of those videos are some of his oldest videos. He's still figuring out what he was doing, how to do it, how he wanted to do it. Maybe Vizard didn't exist at that time. And he went, I can't afford Adobe Premiere or any of these tools. So I'm just going to use what I know. I'm going to try my best and just start making things. And then 740,000 subscribers later, he's got a monetized channel. So yeah, that's my little spiel. If you guys do want some homework, I would say, since we're doing the Imaginators tomorrow, to sit down and ask yourself what inspires you. Write 3 things down, ask GPT about them, find out more about the people that inspire you or the things that inspired them. The more that you seek that stuff, the more you're going to find that you're just in great company. Because, like for me, for a while, a lot of the ideas and stories I would write, I thought were weird until I sat down and watched like a David Lynch movie. And then I went, oh, I'm right at home. Like, yeah, there's weirdos out there like me that write stuff like Twin Peaks and all this stuff like that, right? So I'm in good company. And then I asked GPT, who inspires David Lynch? I go through and start watching and reading some of that stuff. Oh, I'm in even better company. This dude found the weirdos himself, and it was harder for him to do. He had to go to a library to do it or something, right? So that's really all I have to share. You guys, we could take questions for a little bit, Craig, if you want to, but I know there's already been almost 2 hours and we don't want to keep you guys too long on Saturday. So yeah, that would be my homework, would be to figure those things out.
Yeah, if you guys have any questions, either in chat or raise your hand, let's go ahead and do that. Otherwise, we can call it a Saturday and move right along. And then you guys can, many of you are part of the Imaginators group, so we can go ahead and go over there tomorrow. And maybe even, especially you may think tomorrow at noon p.m. Pacific. Especially if you want to maybe rewatch what we just shared with you, and then you have questions based on that. And please understand that, Matt and I just gave you a foundation. If you thought that was technical, it ain't even over yet. So, there's just so much to absorb. And that's, that is the one thing about this, that, you start taking it one step at a time, get 1% gooder every day, and by the end of the year, you'll be 365% gooder, maybe even more. I know that by going through Vizard in about a week, I sure knew a heck of a lot more than I did when I started. And, the nice thing is that Matt showed me the basics. We went through it together. And once I saw that, then I started working with it. And Matt shared this earlier, and please, we do share this all the time. Give yourself grace, because it's going to take a little time to get to that point. Matt and I both have gone through it. And if we can answer your questions, we will. If not, then we'll do our best to find out how it is, or we will point, guide, and direct to the proper places to go. All right.
Perfect, Craig.
Anything else, Matt?
Nope. I think we covered a lot in this. I think a lot of people are going to be excited to watch the replay after it's up. So thank you guys so much for being on here with me and Craig. I'm not seeing any questions. I'm sure a lot of people just want to see what that is for themselves, and we might get questions tomorrow. Like I said, if you guys could do us a personal favor and think of the things that inspire you, this is a good exercise. And over the weekend, even if you can't make it tomorrow, just try your best to inspire yourself, with the people that do that for you. It's going to be different for everybody. So I can't wait to hear what you guys share.
Absolutely. Positively. If you want to save the chat, then go ahead and click on the 3 dots in the meeting chat that's next to the title of this Zoom, and then click Save Chat. It will download. Now, this time, because Matt and I were both very involved here, there may be, we try to include as many links as possible. So forgive us for not putting the group of links like we usually do during an AMA when we are away. But there's enough there, I think, that you guys get the idea, and especially today. And shout out definitely to Lisa Marie and Kai and Dee Dee for joining us here. And thank you for joining us and taking time out of your busy schedule to be a part of this AMA Ask Me Anything / tutorial. So don't forget, tomorrow, noon p.m. Pacific, Imaginators, and we will look forward to seeing you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're watching us on the replay here on YouTube. Click that join button down below, and you'll be able to join us for a lot of great things that we have with Imaginators and Inner Circle. And please hit the subscribe button so that you get all of the information of videos that are upcoming that we share. Love and appreciate each and every one of you. I'm going to go ahead and unmute everybody so that we can all say so long. Have a fantabulous weekend.
Thanks,
Thank
Matt.
you
Thank you guys so
guys.
much.
Thank you.
Have a great
Awesome
weekend.
job, you two.
Thank you guys.
Amazing.
Love you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Robert,
Thanks
Terry,
for
hope you're
those
having a great
audios, Matt.
time. We miss you.
Robert.
Yep, miss you guys. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Matt. Thank
Take
you.
care. Thank you both.
Thank you
You're
both for all your training and all your courses today. It was wonderful. We really
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Thank you guys.
Thank you
Appreciate
so much.
ya.
All right.
See everybody tomorrow.
Yep. Over and out.
Bye, guys.